Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be talking about transmitter setup, and by that I don't mean the actual software of the transmitter, I mean something else. And I'm also going to be showing you my Crown Jewels. That sounded a bit dodgy, doesn't it? First off, I've had this transmitter for quite some time now. I think I bought it last year. I've got a few different Futaba sets. This is my current go-to one. And I suddenly realised just a few weeks ago that I didn't like the feel of the transmitter itself. So not the feel of the aircraft, the actual transmitter. And what I'm referring to was actually the tension in the sticks. The sticks were just all too soft. So I couldn't actually feel the centre. And when you're flying certain manoeuvres, it's nice to know that the stick's back in the middle and you've got no control movement in. And it was just too soft for me. So I've made some adjustments on this that I thought I'd share with you. And on top of that as well, I'm going to be talking about the sticks. So again, the Crown Jewels, we're going to be adding those to this as well, which are little different adapters you can put on the end of the sticks. So first off, let's talk about the tension. So if you're new to this hobby, or if you've picked up a new transmitter, don't make the mistake that I did, and that's not make any changes to it. So you can obviously configure on most sets now what switches do what functions. So that's one thing you want to do when you set up your model, and I've got a video on doing that on the Futaba. But what I'm actually talking about today is how the sticks feel. So for example, even the throttle, put here, it's got a ratchet on there. That can be adjusted, so that can be made a lot smoother, or the ratchet can be made more prominent as well. So mine, you actually hear it. That's how I like my throttle, and also the control. So rudder, I can feel the stick going back to the middle. It's hard to show you on the video. You can hear it as well. And again, on my other stick as well for ailerons and elevator, I can change them as well. So pretty much, I'm going to say on every transmitter, I've not come across one where you can't do this. Maybe some of the real basic entry-level sets, you might be able to. But as soon as you go past this, you can actually change all these per stick, basically. So we're going to show you that on the Futaba sets now. And the next thing I'm going to cover are these TBS Crown Jewels, which are actually different stick ends. So these stick ends, you may not know, can be adjusted. So you can unscrew them and you can make your sticks longer. So I have mine quite long, which just makes it easier for me to reach around, because I fly finger and thumbs, not thumbs. I fly like this typically. So I've got the back of my finger here. So you make them longer. You can also obviously make them shorter, but you can actually change them. So we're going to be changing them today as well for these ones here, and I'll show you those in a bit more detail shortly. Okay, so the first thing you want to do to adjust these sticks is to turn the transmitter the other way around. Like I said, this would be similar to other makes, but not exactly the same. So on Futaba, on this Futaba, you have a couple of rubbers that you need to remove. So these two, this one here, this one, and this side one here for this particular model. So let me remove those, and then I'll show you what each of the screws actually does. Now it does feel a bit weird taking these off, but don't worry about it. I'll just show you one quickly. They do pull off pretty easily. Actually, I'll do all of them when I'm here. He says, there we go. They are just rubber. That's off. And these ones just pop out. All done with mine now. And that has now exposed the screws that we need. So the first thing we're going to look at is stick tension. Now stick tension really controls how quickly the stick goes back to neutral, how much pressure you have to put it to move it away from neutral. And I want the tension increased on mine, so I feel when the stick is in neutral. So if I'm doing a roll, I can roll with right aileron, then come back to the middle pretty quickly. So if you fly, this way it gets slightly complicated. Well, first of all, know that we've got joystick 1 and joystick 2 on the left here, and joystick 3 and joystick 4 on the right here, as the transmitter's upside down. So if you fly mode 1 or 2, the stick tensioner for joystick 1 is this screw here, which you can just see. And you're going to need a 1.5 millimeter. You can need 1.5 millimeter Allen key to be able to change this. Okay, and then if you're flying mode 2, the stick tension for that is here. For this one here, because obviously if you're in mode 2, it'd be throttle but this case mode 2 for me isn't throttle. So that's the other 6 tensions. So basically it's these 2 screws here. Now if you wind them all the way in first, that would be tension done right up. So it's almost as tight as you can get it. Then start slackening them off. Now to give you a bit of an idea, I've unscrewed mine by 7 and it's too loose. And actually I'm going to screw them all the way back in, and that's how tight I want it. So I'm going to go all the way. So 7 turns out, you know, you're not going to get a lot. It's going to feel a bit weird. So do like, go all the way in first, feel it, then go out maybe a turn at a time until you know where you want it. Now for joystick 4 on mode 1 or 2, it's this screw in here. And again, I'll zoom in the camera and show you that screw, because you can't see it at the moment. And then for joystick 3 or J3 on mode 1, it's a screw that's just tucked in here. And again, I'll zoom in when we do those as well. So they're the ones you need for this particular transmitter. Now I have opened up these 2 as well. So these, depending on what mode you fly, allow you to adjust the ratchet on the throttle. Okay, so I think helicopter pilots typically like to have no ratchet, and fixed wing pilots typically like to have a ratchet, and you can adjust how much that ratchet is in play if you like. I mean, look, don't quote me on that. If you're a plane pilot and you don't like a ratchet, then fine, you know, that's absolutely fine. So I'm actually going to take my ratchet pretty much off, so it's almost smooth, but just is in very slightly. So fly mode 1 or 3, it's here, behind here. You can see there's some screws in there. I'll show you again in a minute. And if you fly mode 2 or 4, it'll be over on this side. So that's where my one is, and you can probably just see there's 2 screws. Actually, you can't from the camera, but I'll zoom in. There's 2 screws in there to adjust there. Just going back to the reason why there are 2 screws in each of these. And again, I'm getting this all from the instructions guys, and I'll put the link to the instructions in the description below, page 30. For an airplane, you adjust the screw on the left. For helicopters, you adjust the screw on the right. I mean, come on, Futaba, you could have made this a little bit more complicated for us. You know, a little bit of sarcasm there, but all these different screws in all different places doing different things. That's why there's like 4 pages in the instructions. So yeah, so helicopter on the left, no, airplane on the left, and I've got the instructions in front of me. Airplane on the left, helicopter on the right. So let's start off by doing that. So I fly mode 2, so I'm going to fly fixed wings airplanes. I'm going to adjust the one on the left here to get rid of the ratchet on the throttle. So doing this and filming at the same time is going to be very difficult for me, but there you go. Then you can see the screws in there just about, and you can see I'm in the left hand one at the moment. So let's screw that all the way in and just see what difference it makes. So that's gone tight now. Here's my throttle stick. And you can see that is almost difficult as how much that ratchet's gone on. So I definitely don't want to look at that. Let's go back to this one here. And I'm going to wind it all the way out. Just show you the difference. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It might go more than that. Let's try. You can see completely smooth now. That was 7 turns. Go back in just over 1. Not enough, so obviously 7 turns is too far out. Go back in a further 2. That's it, that's okay. So for me, I can just feel that ratchet. I'm being a bit fussy here because I'm going to leave this as my preferred setup going forward, so I want to get it right on this video. I'm going to leave it like that. So the ratchet is on. No, I'm not actually. So I just said I want to get this right for me. Let's go out half. That's better. So I can just about feel the ratchet, but it's not completely smooth. I'm going to try with that. So the next thing I want to do is to stick tension. So I've got these all the way out at the moment. So the tension again is, you know, how it moves, how it feels, how much pressure I put together to it. So let's go and adjust. this one first, the rudder. So the rudder is going to be here for me. So obviously mode 2, rudder. And if you can't see the screw, it's because the throttle stick is in the wrong position. So bring the throttle stick down. See if I can show you that. You can see the screw moving. So obviously the throttle stick needs to be in the middle to be able to get to that screw. So I'm going to go all the way in to start off with. There you go, that's gone tight. Let's just see what it's like in that position. Yeah, as you can see already, I've got a bit more pressure on the stick. I don't actually mind it like that. It's my normal flying position. Definitely recommend, guys, you put the strap on, whatever you use. If you use a strap or use a tray, get into your normal flying position when you're testing this out. See, I like that tight. So I'm going to leave that wound all the way in. I'm just going to do exactly the same on the other stick for the elevator and for the ailerons, which are going to be here. You can just see the screws there and down here as well. So let's wind those all the way in. That's gone in. So I'm not over tightening it, I'm just waiting till it bites. Don't want to break the transmitter. There you go, so it's just easy, then it goes a little bit tight there, that's enough. Let me try it in my normal position. Yeah, that's. But I can feel the center point nice now. But now what feels for me, it feels like the throttle's a little bit soft. So I'm going to do one more adjustment on that. An extra half a turn of the throttle. Actually, that's better. But I'm going to fly it with that. Now while we're here and we're talking about stick setup, I've just noticed something else in the instructions which I never knew, which I thought I'd share. Now it says you can make adjustments to the angle of the stick lever either inwards or outwards from the center stick position, which all sounds a bit odd, especially if you look at the actual manual, which is page 29, again linked below. But that is from this screw here and here. So I'm actually going to do that. I don't want it like it just feels awful, but there's obviously a reason for this. So let's see what it actually does together. So if I put the hex key, same size again. Okay, so I've just adjusted that as far as it'll go, and look what's happened. The actual whole plate here has moved outwards. So you can see there's now a gap here, and this is raised up only by a couple of mil. Hopefully you can see that on the camera. So you can see that whole plate's raised out. So the whole sort of angle of that stick now is facing, you can't really see it, it's facing the other direction. So let me put it back in and go beyond it so you can see what happens. Okay, I'll try and get my hand out of the way for you. See, it's getting level again. If I go all the way the other way, it's getting very loose now. Also point the screw, there you go, screw wasn't doing anything then. And you can just about see that is now indented in the opposite direction. I'll point out for you, there's a little gap here. So it's only by a couple of mil, but just angling the sticks. Now, there's obviously a reason for that, it obviously makes a bigger difference. But I'm just going to put it back level. But have a go of it, maybe try it yourself on your transmitter and go and fly. It's all about what makes you more comfortable behind the sticks. Okay, and now that's back to neutral. So yeah, so say experiment with these, and definitely experiment with the springs as well. Right, so the next thing I want to do is show you these Crown Jewels. So these have been purchased from Flying Tech, again link will be below, and they're called TBS Crown Jewels M3 transmitter stick ends. Where have they gone? And here they are. There you go, teamblacksheep.com. Not affiliated in any way, shape or form. It's just something that a friend of mine recommended I take a look at. So opening up the pack. Cost of these, by the way, is £11.90 plus postage on top. So the difference with these, they've got the same kind of raised crown head, but they've got an indent at the back. Hopefully you can see that on the camera. So they're not perfectly round. So if we just take one of the other ones off, stock ones if you like, and look at the difference between those. A little bit taller, so these are perfectly round. A few Futaba ones with a grip on there. More of a crown, if you like, in fairness. And then these ones have got that indent and a crown on top. Now for me, I think that's going to be better because I actually rest my finger behind the stick and I put my thumb more on top like so. So that's kind of how I hold the stick, which is why I wanted to try them. So let's get it fitted. Okay, and there they are on the sticks. Now you may have noticed I've still got the silver half of the Futaba one. Let me zoom in for you on there, and that's because if I show you the other bits that are left over, this smaller piece, which is the locking piece for the TBS ones, for the TBS Crown Jewels, doesn't fit on my particular transmitter. This is obviously the old Futaba top piece, so I've left the lower part on there over the new part on top. Now I've got a little bit of OCD and I don't like the fact that that's silver there, to be really honest with you, but I think what I'm going to do is I like the feel of it, so I'm actually going to go and try it in a minute and see what it's like. Now just a little tip for you, if you are doing this, just take your time on getting the length of the stick right. So that's just what I just did. I just kept holding the transmitter, attaching it to my neck strap, and actually just trying it out as if I was flying to make sure it feels good and it feels like it's the right length. Make sure I get the sticks in all the corners without having to move my fingers too much. That makes sense. So there you go. Another little angle for you. That is the TBS, the black sheep Crown Jewels installed. So I think what we should do to finish this video off is just actually go and have a little fly and I can give you some feedback from the field. Hey guys, so we're down the flying field now with my new TBS Crown Jewels from the black sheep. So about to give these a go and see what they're like. And I'll let you know as soon as I finish this flight. But yeah, so far so good. Well, that just felt weird. Okay, I must admit, guys, to be really honest with you, it just feels different right now. So I'm not 100% convinced whether I like these or not at the moment. I've tried different lengths sticks as well, but for me, they just feel a little bit too different at the top. So not 100% convinced. Probably giving these about a 5 out of 10 at the moment. Look, guys, if you're already using these and trying them out yourselves, let me know your feedback in the comments below. But for now, I think I'm probably going to swap back. I'll see you next time around.